Let's take a fresh look at Iceland, one of the most unique travel destinations in the world. Iceland is famous for its volcanoes, glaciers, geysers, waterfalls, and the northern lights. It's near Greenland and the Arctic Circle in the northern Atlantic and was created by volcanoes, very similar to Hawaii. Iceland is at the collision point of the geological tectonic plates of North America and Europe. The island is formed of basalt from the hot magma straight from the Earth's core. The result is rugged beauty like few places on Earth. It has indeed become a tourist mecca. Fewer than 400,000 people live in Iceland, and the main access to the island is the Keflavik Airport on the southwestern part of the peninsula, about 30 miles west of Reykjavik. Tours often start as soon as you arrive on your overnight flight. The popular Blue Lagoon is a very worthwhile visit. It's just like gliding into a hot tub to melt away any jet lag. The temperature is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The lagoon started by a geothermal power plant as a way to drain the hot water back into the ocean. But there were so many minerals from the underground hot water that it sealed off the lagoon, forming what you see today. It has health and beauty benefits, according to many. It was a very happy accident. Ironically, 5 days after we visited, a frequently erupting volcano forced the closure of the Blue Lagoon for a day or so, as well as a nearby town. The Blue Lagoon is not far from the airport. The widespread geothermal area and resulting glaciers provide the necessary ingredients for cheap electricity, heating, and agriculture, at least in some parts of the island. The climate is temperate due to the Atlantic Gulf Stream, causing a lot of the glaciers to melt and form rivers, adding hydropower to the geothermal. All petroleum products must be imported, as are many Western and European foods and other goods. Icelandic is the native language from the Norwegian Vikings who discovered and eventually settled the greener parts of the island. English is a very common second language. Also surprising is that the Evangelical Lutheran Church is the official state church, and 86% of the citizens belong to it. There is no standing military, and the island depends on tourism, agriculture, and fishing, although the cheap power is encouraging biotechnology and manufacturing. Its location all makes it a great place, a great center for the financial world. Many around the world remember Reykjavik for hosting the summit between Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev, who were working on nuclear disarmament in 1986. This home, overlooking the bay, was the home of famous Icelandic writers, an artist, and later the British Embassy for decades. The 2 days of talks in October of 1986 made the home the most famous in the world as people watched for signs of progress. President Reagan left the meeting abruptly, but the talks did eventually result in a treaty between the USSR and the United States. Another bit of excitement on our first day, we made the local news. We were visiting the official Iceland president's residence. We were at the nearby chapel when limousines came rolling up, followed by radio, TV, and other journalists. Apparently, a newly appointed children's minister was forced to resign after she admitted to having a baby with a teenager 35 years ago. The press noticed us, and we were briefly on screen as witnesses to the follow-up meetings. Iceland is proud of the fact that they have been mostly self-governing and point to the Dingavir National Park where leaders began meeting in 930 AD. It is considered the birthplace of Iceland, right at the site of the lava fields that were torn apart by the tectonic plates. forming the gorgeous Rift Valley. Here, one can walk between two continents. We walked to a nearby waterfall. We then crossed the Rift Valley by bus from the North American tectonic plate to the Eurasian plate on the other side. The Friedheimer greenhouses are telling features of modern Iceland in the changing and growing business of greenhouse agriculture. The geothermal hot water warms the greenhouse, and modern hydroponics and the sun-like halogen lighting are run by the inexpensive electricity. The result is an excellent and sustainable growing environment to provide fresh vegetables to serve the growing population and over 2 million tourists. We had lunch there for homemade and homegrown tomato soup and homemade bread. It was delicious, and the whole operation was unexpected and impressive. Not far from the greenhouse is a hot geothermal geyser area on the Eurasian side of the valley. It isn't old faithful, but the word geyser does come from the activity in this area.
A cooking pot of a troll, something like that.
An extra one! Sometimes it happens 2 in a row. That was good.
On the way back to Reykjavik, we saw the third part of the triangle, the amazing large golden waterfall, Gullfoss. Our tour literature says the name comes from the legend of a Viking who dumped his treasure into the waters, while others say the name comes from the way the sunlight hits the mist off the cascading waterfall when the sun is out. Another natural beauty spot included entering one of the many lava tube tunnels or caves. This commercial cave is over 5,000 years old and takes an hour and hiking boots to see. It includes flat boards, walkways, and metal stairs, but you do get to see natural volcanic beauty up close. The lighting helps as well. For such a small country, there is an amazing amount of public art and sculpture. We saw all kinds of weather: snow, fog, cloudy, rainy, windy, and just a little bit of sun. Our last day was typical of spring, lots of wind and rain while traveling along the southern coast of Iceland. This area is among the greenest on the island and hosts a considerable number of farmers in this lowland area. A new attraction is the Skogar Museum that showcases old Icelandic artifacts. Our tour guide, Perla Magnusdóttir, modeled some traditional Icelandic dress. But perhaps the sod houses that many farmers built to survive the long, frigid winters were the real eye-opener. This is what they had back then, as most of the trees had been logged hundreds of years ago. South Iceland has two rather famous waterfalls not far from the road. The first is Skogafoss. The other is Seljan Landsfoss, where you can get up close and wet with the waterfall. We passed through the area where the 2010 volcano erupted, lasting 71 days. It melted through 820 feet of ice and produced a huge amount of fine ash that was blown toward Europe and the Baltics. It is estimated that over 100,000 flights were canceled over an 11-day period, with over 2 million people affected. However, the resulting attention and gorgeous photography that followed showed Iceland's natural beauty, and the current tourist boom got its start. Downwind from this are the result of this and centuries of other eruptions, the black sand beaches along the Atlantic. The black basalt pillars or columns at Reynisdrangar cliffs are also volcanic. They were formed by the heating and cooling of the lava and reach heights of 20 feet or more. These columns are similar to those at the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, over 800 miles of ocean away. You definitely need warm clothing that you can layer, and tough mountain hiking boots for the basalt and sharp rock on this trip. Southern Iceland is the location of several glaciers, including the Solheimajökull Glacier. It is small by Iceland standards, but spans the gap between two volcanoes and has blue ice, making it a popular hiking destination. Downtown Reykjavik is interesting, including the Harpa, the relatively new performance arts center. There is the old Parliament building right next to the Lutheran Cathedral. Remember that Lutheranism is the official religion of Iceland. A large, more modern church has been built, the Hallgrímskirkja. This church is one of the tallest buildings in Reykjavik and can be seen from most directions. Its distinct curved spire is 245 feet tall and houses a very plain church inside with plain gray walls, perfect for enjoying its huge pipe organ with over 5,000 pipes. Outside is a statue to honor Leif Erikson, the first Icelander to see North America. During a visit to Iceland, you can find many things, including the North Atlantic fishing fleet in the Reykjavik port on Faxa Bay, an aluminum manufacturing plant, cool but expensive eating places, lava fields, and even a lava show where the rock is heated up and you can see it flow in a safe environment. When is the best time to visit? The long nights of winter make the northern lights more likely to be visible. The warmer days of summer months make it easier to see the puffins and the amazing variety of natural beauty. We went in the spring and did not see the northern lights, as up to 80% of the time this island in the ocean is covered with clouds and precipitation. Consider the northern lights a gift if you get to see them. Go to see the landscape and the friendly, inviting people. By the way, one of our tour group did see the northern lights on the flight into Iceland at 35,000 feet at 3 o'clock in the morning.